Hello, can everyone hear me? This is oh no, we've had a rough start this morning to the Crispy Pro show. I'm currently in this format and I can't seem to fix it. I actually don't know. Can everyone hear me? Are we okay? Hello everyone. Hi. Sorry. It's been a hectic morning and dare I say I slept in too much. Um I've had like a lot of weird things have happened to me lately. I went to the park yesterday and I stepped on this like bit of string and there were like some bird skulls and lucky charms and it just it was weird. It was really really weird. But thank you everyone for coming in to the old chat. I think we might be okay to go. Hopefully this isn't too distracting. Too distracting. Let me just check that all the settings are okay. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Oh gosh. Oh. What on earth is happening? What?
Surprise!
Surprise, everyone! I apologize for the deception. So, this week was always going to be the live week on my podcast, Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast, and it happened to align with the fact that I was doing live streams. So, congratulations, everyone. You've been bamboozled and you're watching a live recording of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast with my co-host, Troy. How are you, Troy?
Hello, everyone. We'll get started shortly. First off, everyone in the chat, can we have loads of a round of applause? This was all Crispy's idea. I think this was a genius plan for us to kind of take over. Because he wanted more of Crispy's audience to see our podcast and subscribe, because we want to be world famous. So let's make it happen, please. No,
Let's make it happen.
I hope not everyone's disappointed by my face suddenly showing up. You know, I tend to have that effect.
Well,
no, I'm joking.
You never know.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
But we're not alone, I'm afraid, folks. Because if you thought two of us was enough chaos, well, drumroll please. Can we welcome to the call, who's already been, basically, by the way, has been sat for the last 15 minutes watching these antics unfold. But he's here to leak all over the podcast. That was bad word choice, but whatever. It's Tharries. Welcome.
What an introduction that was. I'm so upset that, like, that was one way to introduce me. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Oh my
That was certainly one of the introductions of all time. I'll say that.
I can't believe it.
Boy.
Well,
wow.
listen, you
What a
called me
show.
Troyberculosis, so I'm getting my revenge,
I
mate.
mean, it was a good joke. It was a good gag.
It was. And it was.
And it was on the same. I genuinely, that wasn't planned. It just happened, and I was like, "That's just amazing." I feel
Oh,
like a genius.
dearie me.
You know.
Dearie me. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Tharries, for being here.
No problem.
Glad that you were up for this absolute ridiculous idea that we had. But we're going to talk some Doctor Who today. We're going to talk some Doctor Who. And I'm very, very damn excited. Now, usually what happens with the podcast is we need some kind of funny intro. And the funniest man I know is Troy Red Archer Live. So I'm going to leave
Oh, I
it
thought you were going to say me, then I was like, thank God.
Really? You doing this to... Okay, alright. Alright. Before we do,
No,
I just
I'm
want to
not- I wouldn't make
clarify
you do that.
a couple
I
of
wouldn't make you
things
do that.
quickly, because I do want Crispy to be in charge. It is his channel after all. First off, if you are a Who's There Doctor Who fan, you're wondering what the heck is going on, this will be a video version you will see in proper Who's There format, hopefully, on the usual Tuesday morning release time, so keep an eye out for that. We are still recording on Riverside. We're going to try and edit it to a normal episode. If there's any problems, we'll just put edits of this stream over there, so stay tuned there. Second off, I am the one streaming this. I got it all set up on this end because I wanted to be ready for when Crispy woke up. Obviously, we were a couple minutes late. We were getting some bits set up. I had to make this layout for one thing. That's why we were late. So it's my fault, not his. But I have had a couple of small internet problems recently. So if it goes down at any point, we'll bring it back up. Don't worry. But we should hopefully be fine. Fingers crossed. I just wanted to warn it in case it does happen. I'm hoping to everything it won't.
Suspense.
But I just wanted to put that out there because I did have a bit of a meltdown early this week when it started going wrong. So Hopefully we're good.
We'll be fine.
There we
today.
go.
We'll be
there
fine.
we go. So things are out the way. Crispy, have you got the Patreon calls, by the way? Have you got those?
No, I don't. Like, you think of a funny intro while I upload
Yeah,
those
I've sent them
right
all to you
now.
on the Discord, so you can get that
Okay,
set
cool.
up. But yeah, so
And then
we're
we'll
doing
talk
our
73 yards, everyone.
Yeah.
I promise this is Doctor Who related.
It's
okay?
about to be.
I
Well, it
promise.
kind of was already. Okay, so we need a funny intro.
I feel like I'm third wheeling right now. This is like being, the third wheel in a relationship.
Oh.
I'm just here,
You'll end up overcompensating, and
not
then you'll
like
take
that.
over from both of us. I feel like I wouldn't worry.
Crispy Pro's
Yeah.
channel is mine now as well.
Yeah.
We're actually just taking
Oh my
over.
gosh.
It's all
We gave
mine.
Tharries the key. We gave Tharries the key.
But I will just
dearie
say
me.
while I was doing that before we do the intro, if you do enjoy this stream and you aren't already subscribed to Who's There Doc 2 podcast, I'm using Crispy's account to
What
put
are
it
you
in the
doing?
chat. Go and subscribe. It's right there.
Yeah,
subscribe.
I already put it in the chat. They can
Also,
Wow.
because I'm lovely, as soon as you introduced me, I put the link out on my channel as well. Just I was
Oh,
like, I
you
was
are
claiming
king,
it just
Tharries.
so I didn't
You are
I
king.
didn't spoil it. But I was like,
There you
I've
go.
got to try and make sure it works. So I did do that.
All right.
So if anyone comes
Thank
over
you,
here,
Tharries.
Top Man
go
Dog
and-
said get on with it, so we're going to listen to him. Sorry. It's
Oh,
just
sorry,
blame
Top
me.
Man Dog.
Anything that goes wrong is my fault, okay? I'll allow you to blame... Actually, no, blame Tharries. Blame him.
What,
I don't
what
care.
have I done?
Because you... No, I'm still salty about tuberculosis. I can't lie. Okay, joke. I want to make something about us being 73 yards away. I wanted that. That's where my head's at. I'm trying to think about something to do with that.
I could sing a song.
All right. Well, now you're gonna do it. Okay. All right. I'll
All
lead
right.
you in for an intro, asking you about a song. So you've done this now. All right. I feel like you've set a bit of a tradition with these episode reviews now, Crispy, where you talk about songs. Have you got a song for 73 yards?
I wish. I wish I recorded something, but we've been struck with copyright for the other one, so I'll just do a little bit of a cappella as to what I would have done. When I wake up, yeah, I know I'm gonna step on some stuff and I'm gonna get haunted by you. Because I would be 73 yards away, and you would be 73 yards away for ages.
Well, I want the intro to be less than 73 yards away, so maybe we should roll it.
Alright, that'll do.
There we go. That'll do. Dr. Master in the chat guessed that was going to be the intro, so there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
There you go. It
So
feels
much.
fitting for
Thank
you
you
to do
so
the
much.
intro when it is your channel after all. Oh. Uh-oh. Why have they both frozen? There we go. We're coming back. Oh. I'm refreshing. Come on.
I'm so sorry, I'm Oh, no.
Oh, I'm so...
Troy?
you're so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh,
What
my God.
happened?
What do you think? My internet died.
Oh, nice. I can relate to that, to be honest.
Oh, there we go. Well,
We
you've now
swapped
swapped
sides
places.
now.
You swapped places. That's the best I can do. Oh, God.
yeah,
I hope
here
it doesn't
we
keep
go.
doing that.
Just
No.
like how the woman keeps swapping places to get closer.
Oh, we got another intro.
Oh.
Connected.
There we go.
Whoa.
Okay. Oh, if that happens again, folks, stay. I'm sorry. Hopefully it doesn't. I hate my internet, man. I hate my internet. Okay, so let's get into it. Crispy, you're doing the intro. I don't know if it's your turn, but it's your
Okey-dokes.
channel, so you're doing it.
Alright, here we go.
That feels
Everyone,
apt.
this is where the show officially gets underway, okay? I hope you're keen as a bean.
I am.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. My name is Crispy, his name is Troy, and we're the hotline that accepts your calls from anywhere in time and space. But today we are not alone. We are joined by one of the most devilishly delightful members of the Who community. It is Tharries. Hello Tharries, how are you?
Hello, I am representing the old woman today that keeps following you around. Because I just thought about this. This is my third time on this podcast, which makes me the guest that lingers the longest. So,
Oh my gosh.
so
You really
maybe-
are. Well, linger some more, my friend.
Oh,
Linger
thank
some
you.
more. It's an absolute honor to have you back, and especially today. I did initially ask if you wanted to be on for Boom, and you were like, actually,
Yeah.
I think that episode 4 is supposed to have something to do with Welsh folklore, and
Yeah.
you, of course, are from Wales yourself.
I am.
So that's very exciting.
I'm a Welshman. Yeah, it was good. It was kind of like I kind of feel the similar way when I watch Torchwood, you know, where it's like, that's like someone I know down the street, you know what I mean? So it had that kind of, you know, quality to it, you know what I mean? Which
that's so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here. And Troy, how are you?
I'm
my
good,
boy?
man. I'm stressed because my internet just went down for the recording people, but because we're live streaming this on Crispy's channel, we mixed things up.
Yeah.
We surprised
We
his
did
viewers.
mix things up this week.
You know, they had a good surprise with Tharries being there. They had a bad surprise with me being there. So it balanced out, you know? It balanced out.
It balanced out quite nicely.
Troy, as
Thank
much
goodness.
as I, you know, we have a little banter. I love you, Troy.
I love you too.
You're a worthy,
And
you're a great addition.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tharries, are you not going to see Doctor Who at the proms?
Yes, I am. Yes.
So it sounds like
yeah.
I'll actually get to meet you and then tell you how much I hate you in person in a couple of months.
Oh
No.
wow! Thank you very much. I'll appreciate it.
We're both
No,
going
no,
to the
you got-
proms, and also...
You guys go to the prom together?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
are. We're going to the prom together, and
Oh my god.
we're going for this is a relevant bit of news just before we get started on 73 yards because we've got thoughts, and I think this time we're all going to start with the score. I'm just putting that down there because I really think
really?
things are going to be
Okay.
different. I'm keen, but also Doctor Who in the cinema. What do we think of that?
Oh, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm-
sick if it
I
happened
was-
here
I
in
was-
Australia.
Well, I mean, you've got the good airtime now. You can't have everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually, yeah, you have. That's our
Take
revenge.
that. Yeah,
You get
go
to watch
on.
it at a time that isn't midnight. We get to watch it in a cinema. There you go.
I think that's. I mean, it's just fun because I remember it going to the cinema for the 50th
Same.
and being really sad because for whatever reason, like there was a family thing and I couldn't go and see it in the cinema. I was like, this is the one thing I want to see.
Oh,
in the cinema.
no.
But this time, I'm putting that to rights. I'm going. I booked my seat. I'm hyped. Looking forward to it.
it's gonna be
and
amazing.
it's
Midnight
like
screening
all
too,
over
that's fun.
all over the country. That's fun as well. Like I thought it would just be like a couple of select cinemas, but it's like all of them, or like a lot of them. Like if you're somewhere, you'll probably have a cinema that's showing it. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, it was
And it
chaos
seems
that
like
morning.
they're
for a
selling
bit.
well as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Right?
When it first went up, it was like only View cinemas, and in the northwest, there's
Yes.
almost no View, and I got very worried. And then it was Odeon popped up, and now Cineworld have got in on it. So
Yeah.
pretty much everywhere is showing it. So if you haven't already booked tickets, go for it. I've looked at some bookings in and around Liverpool for cinemas, and they're almost completely packed out. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I went for the Odeon. I think I could say that without. You know.
Yeah.
Leak your location.
I'll
Do
walk
it.
up
Do
to
it.
a
Which
screening.
which one? Which screen? Which location? Tell
Tharries
us.
is hosting a private screening. You should go.
Oh. But that is exciting. I tell you what, though, I'm glad it wasn't 73 yards being screened because I don't know how I'd have felt coming out of it. So I think we should talk. We should talk.
Okay.
So-
well, should we do tradition, Troy?
Let's do tradition. So I'm very much like not even for the sake of everything has to have a score, but just because I think it's good at setting the precedent and what we all think. So I'm going to ask all of you to give your score out of 10. Rather than us all saying it together, let's do it one by one. But let's not react to each other's scores
Okay.
till we've all said them. So I just want a number from 1 to 10. 1 being terrible, 10 being the best thing ever.
Is like 0.5s allowed? Are they allowed? Just for clarification.
No, just to be annoying, they're not allowed.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright,
damn it,
alright.
Troy. Okay.
Okay, fine. You can, since both of you, fine, you can. I've got a whole number. You go points. All right. We'll start with Tharries. What's your number?
7.5.
Crispy, what have you got?
9.5.
So Tharries is a good average because I'm settling at a 5 out of 10.
Oh wow.
So let's cook. We've got 3 very different opinions here. I knew Crispy hadn't seen my tweet. So let's cook. I'm very, very excited to
I'm
see
not
what you all have to
used
say.
you being the most negative one.
Yep.
Has that ever happened?
Nope.
I think we might need to cancel the stream. This is too much pressure for me, man. This is too much pressure for me.
Oh, I will
Wow.
explain. 5 is low, but I will explain why. Okay, I didn't
Yeah, no,
dislike
I
the
can
episode.
guess.
I know it sounds
I think
stupid,
you
but I
and I
will
are just
get there.
born different.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
the chat is putting in their scores, and my goodness, it is wildly different. We have some 9 out of 10. Someone put a negative 50 out of 10. It's
Oof.
happening.
Oof.
It's all happening.
Should we start with
Okay,
a caller
so
though,
where do-
Crispy?
where do we begin?
Should we get a caller, but
Yeah,
to
well-
have some suspense?
Well,
Someone
this-
said Troy Tuberculosis. I'm disappointed.
Don't call me
I
that.
love
We said no more of that.
We're going
No
again.
more. No more.
Can everyone put Troy Tuberculosis?
No, do
No.
not.
Excellent.
Do not.
We're
Do not. I will leak Tharries' location if you do that.
Oh,
the
no.
Link King.
The clips were too woke, said NB. Okay, alright. How does that even work? To be
So,
fair, Russell
this-
leaked his own location by having Ruby mention Mumbles. I was like, oh, I know what you did there,
True.
Russell. because that's where he lives in Wales. He lives in a town called Mumbles.
Oh,
So
that's fine.
It's nice, Mumbles. Mumbles nice.
I've never been. I might go and stalk Russell and say, "How you doing?" I don't know.
It's good. It's in Swansea. It's nice.
All right,
So
Crispy,
for the
what have we
live,
got for hotline?
for the live episodes, we have patron callers.
We
usually.
do. Should we give them a special segment towards the end? Because I think people on your channel
Okay.
want proper review stuff to start
That's
with.
fine. I'm going to have to open a new tab, Troy, so maybe if you could make the window, like... 'cause
Oh no,
people's
not
emails
again.
might
Oh
rock
no,
up.
I don't know if I can move everything around again. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, that's the problem. It might be okay. We'll see
I'll
what
tell you
happens.
what, just for a moment. Okay, we're on my face. Get it set up and let's see how bad it is. Let's do that.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Boom,
Bear with me,
boom,
folks.
pow.
Bear with me. Sorry. Okay, that's... Oh my god, it's literally focusing on the email addresses on that bit. If I shrink that
Yeah.
down... Oh, I think I might have done it. Haha! Let's go! I focused on just your screens and we're perfect. There we go. Okay,
Brilliant.
brilliant.
Cool. I thought you were
you
going to
for
just
that.
like leak everyone's addresses.
We
then. I
don't
was
really
like,
want to be
no.
doing that.
We're really,
No,
we're
we
really
don't.
on theme with my appearance, you know.
Okay, we have a lot of callers. Which
All right.
is very, very good.
Throw one on us.
Who
Who have
should
we got?
73 farts. I don't want to. I don't want to listen to that.
I want to hear 73 farts.
Yeah, go on.
Okay, we can.
Yeah,
This is
someone's
big one.
listed
All right.
Chris Chibnall. I'm curious to see what he thought as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chris Chibnall's called in as well. All
Well,
right.
we'll
We
save the
haven't
Chris
screened
Chibnall
any
call
of
for
these,
later.
So here we go. Hello, Big Lock. Welcome to the show again.
You're telling me Russell thinks this is the best thing he's ever written? He is a delusional man. I love him, but he's a delusional man. That was the biggest pile of dog, whatever you want to insert there. That was just boring. This is the most episode I was looking forward to the most, and I get that. Fair play to him. He tries to do some things that isn't possible, but I just want a normal episode of Doctor Who, not just all this supernatural, mythological stuff. It's boring, and it's not what the show is at its core. It's trying to be something different, but that's just my thoughts. Big lockout.
Okay, my review is not that bad. I want to stress that now.
That was,
I don't
that was
think Big Lock
actually
liked it at all.
Troy's alt account.
No, it wasn't.
Uh,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
He's
I
very
didn't
good at
actually-
accents. Is Troy.
I'm nervous now. I'm gonna go another caller just before we get into our discussion.
really?
I hope that there's something positive.
Okay.
Yeah. And if there's not, we're in for a rough review.
We are. That's true.
Let's go, Grace, who is a wizard. Here
All right.
we go.
What have you got,
Hello,
Grace?
So, 73 yards. 7 and 3 are both magical numbers. Kate then says 219 feet when 21 and 9 are also very magical numbers. Then her and Ruby both say 66.7 meters, which is one digit off of 666, which needs no further explanation. I have no idea where I'm going with this, except maybe just to say that I'm a wizard, and I also wasn't expecting Doctor Who to genre bend into fantasy, but I'm here for it.
Thank you, Grace.
Okay.
Who is a wizard? Is that the end of the call? Yes.
Yeah.
That was very
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I feel like maybe we should ask the guest first, who's the happy medium here, and then we can
Yeah.
defend our sides, Troy.
You know what? That makes sense. I'm just like, I'm sort of like, you two are like going at like a war, and I'm just like a neutral ally, just in the middle, like, I
No,
don't know.
no. Say it like it is.
You're
You're the
our
marriage
divorce
counselor.
lawyer.
You're our marriage
Oh,
counselor.
yeah. So who hurt you in this room? I don't know what that was.
No.
Anyway, so my thoughts. All right, pressure's on. So I rewatched it today. So you got to bear in mind. I think one thing that you've got to bear in mind with this episode is I watched it at the midnight. As soon as it came out, and let me tell you, I don't know whether that's the best time to watch an episode like this because it's so abstract, I think is a word to describe it. I sort of came out of it going like, did I dream half of it? I watched it a couple hours before this to prepare, because I like to do that. And generally, I enjoyed it first time round. I got more out of it the second time round. There are a couple of issues. I think main ones for me are pacing and kind of just some of the general ambiguity to some of the stuff. But overall, I thought direction-wise, it was fantastic. I thought Millie Gibson actually, point of praise for her, I thought she was absolutely fantastic in it. I thought, considering this was apparently the first episode she shot, you wouldn't be able to tell. She was genuinely fantastic in this. I think it really worked. Overall, I enjoyed it. I liked the premise of it. I just think some things could have done with a little bit more zhuzh. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of my ultimate thesis on this episode at the minute.
A bit more zhuzh.
A bit more zhuzh.
more
I like that.
zhuzh.
I like that.
Okay. No,
I
thank
like
you
zhuzh.
for your thoughts. Thank you very much for your thoughts. Troy, should we ask your controversial opinions while we have a lot of
To be
people
fair, I've seen
on
quite a
the
few people on
stream?
Twitter have similar attitudes to me, so I don't think I'm on my own on this one.
I feel like on Twitter you could have any opinion ever and you'd find someone with similar attitudes to you.
You make a good
Yeah, I
point.
saw someone who hated Dalek once, and I was just sort of down like...
Yeah, but that's just wrong. That's just wrong. There's a difference. No. Okay, so... so everything about the episode, aside from the plot, I absolutely loved. I thought the direction and the filming was top-notch. Dylan Holmes-Williams is a fantastic director. I really loved the way the stuff was shot and framed. I've watched Unleashed. The things they went in behind the scenes on it was really, really good. Millie Gibson proves that she can handle an episode on her own. She's fantastic. As you said, Tharries, she steals a show. Absolutely love it. My problem lies with the actual plot content itself, in a similar way to Space Babies, but worse. When I came out of Space Babies, I was like, that plot was fine, but I didn't love it, but the performances carried it. Here, the performances weren't enough to save it enough for me, because I feel like, and I've seen a few people say this, I think had it just stayed as the Welsh folk horror thing in the bar for like 45 minutes, like midnight, we'd have had a 10 out of 10 on our hands. I honestly think so. But I feel like the plot jumped around a little bit too much, and then some really key questions weren't answered or explained very well at the end. So my biggest issue, and I really hope you guys, because if you guys can clarify, I will put my score up right now, but I can't figure out an explanation. So this Roger Ap William, Prime Minister man, who's meant to be the big bad, he is he there because of Mad Jack, or has Mad Jack possessed him? I don't understand what's happened there.
There's no answers.
There we
to
go.
that,
That's
but
the
it's
first
just
thing.
It's
Yeah.
It's implied.
That's
this-
the issue.
But what's the difference? What would be the difference?
Because-
like, if you knew that, what would be the difference to the plot?
Well,
you
because
want
I
a more
want to know-
consistent plot. What would be the difference if it was possessed or actually was him?
Because
What would be the difference
I'm
then?
wondering, but it would explain some things and not explain others, and also still create more plot holes. It's just one question I have. I was expecting you to say you didn't have an answer. That was the idea there. Second off, I don't like. Right, God, it's because I have so many holes in it, and that's why I have the problem. Because I don't enjoy giving scores. I know 5's not that low, but I don't enjoy giving things low scores. But I have reasons. So that was the first thing. Second thing was, I don't like that we aren't explained, first off, what the woman in the distance is doing. I know Unleashed went, oh, it's actually, I'm just saying, thank you for giving me a water bottle. That's very kind of you, or whatever. It is meant to be nothing. But I don't like that she makes those hand movements, because my brain goes, this is like the ghost thing in Capaldi, where they're miming something. That's got to mean something. It's never touched on. And also, it's never really properly explained what the woman... I know the idea is meant to be the woman's Ruby, but I don't understand why all of a sudden when we see from Ruby's perspective as the old woman in the distance, why she's there before the Doctor stepped on the circle and therefore is able to stop this whole timeline from happening. That doesn't make sense in my brain. Because why does Ruby notice it the first time, notice it that time around, but not notice it the first time when he stepped on the circle? I don't get why events previously have changed as a result of him stepping on the circle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's-
for sure.
The thing I originally thought was, because obviously on the Roger Ap William thing, my initial thing was, okay, he is a result of the Mad Jack curse thing, right? Because that's what he says. He says, oh, Mad Jack, they used to call me. So I was assuming, like, okay, he is the manifest, because they say earlier on, like, oh, she is, like, herald. They say that line, is she the herald to Mad Jack? So initially I was thinking, okay, she has caused this bloke who wants to blow up the world to occur. Kind of similarly to, again, I'm going to use Sarah Jane Adventures a lot in this because I think there's quite a few little Sarah Jane Adventures parallels.
I've seen Curse of Clyde Langer comparisons, yeah.
That's the strongest one, but another one would be The one where, do you remember whatever happened to Sarah Jane Smith? Where
Oh, one of the best
she gets
episodes of the
removed from
series.
timeline?
Yeah.
Yeah. She gets removed from the timeline, and then the Trickster's like, oh well, now there can just be a meteor that just hits the Earth.
Oh,
because
you
Sarah
mean
Jane's not there.
you mean season 1 finale villain, the Trickster, for Doctor Who
Oh,
season
wow.
1?
Well, you know, we don't know. But yeah, so I was thinking, like, okay, she is basically the instigator that's caused him, but then in the corrected timeline, Gatwa still knows who Roger Ap Gwilliam is.
Yes.
Which would imply that he would happen regardless of the events, which makes you think, well, what did Ruby achieve at the end? I'm sort of like, because...
Point number 3. You've nailed point number 3. Because the whole point of Turn Left, and I'm going to make comparisons to Turn Left, because to me, I tweeted this, I said that I felt this was Turn Left without the gravitas. I couldn't think of a better word for it. It didn't feel like it had the effect Turn Left had on me. Alright, shut up. Because she goes to all this effort, I'm going to join this team, I'm going to make sure this politician doesn't do his bad things. Time is undone, but the Doctor still mentions that he's going to be a bad Prime Minister. He doesn't mention the nuclear stuff, which in my head makes me think Roger Ap Gwilliam happens anyway, but Mad Jack possesses him and turns him from a very bad Prime Minister to a I'm going to blow the world up Prime Minister. That's how I've perceived it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. But again, that's the problem. And the other problem, the last one, and then I will shut up because I'm hoping I explain my point. I don't like that we don't know what it is the woman says to everyone to make them run. And I know there are some people who say not everything has to be explained. That's fair.
I'm kind of on their side with that one. I'll be
I'm
completely
on their
honest.
side with
That's the one where I'm like, yeah, that to me is kind of fine. It's the same way I feel about like the Midnight Entity, where you're not really supposed to know what it is. I think not knowing what she says is
like
part of the
Jaws.
horror.
I think
You know?
it comes down to what you feel personally. That's why I think people will think differently, and I know that my opinion won't be the same, and that's fair. But it comes down to what you feel personally is important to the plot, and I felt what she was saying was quite important because it was a significant point, and it was also the crux of how they saved the day. What the Midnight Entity was not how they stopped the Midnight Entity. So it didn't matter what it was. Whereas here, what that woman's saying is the reason Roger Ap Gwilliam runs off and nuclear war is avoided. And I saw someone in the chat season that I think is a really good explanation of it. Aussie's IDWTBH said, ambiguity is a powerful tool for writers as it allows the spectator to come up with their own answers and ideas, but this episode left a little bit too much out in the open, which is kind of how I feel with it. I think there's too many unanswered questions by the end.
And I think I'm inclined to agree with that in principle. There's things that bother me less than you, but there's also, like, I can't disagree with any of the things you've brought up. Do you know what I mean? I think it's a case of...
You just don't care as much, yeah.
Personal mileage. I mean, there's some things where I'm like, yeah, that does annoy me a bit. Like, as I said, kind of... I think one of the things that, like what we were saying with all the Roger Ap Gwilliam stuff, it's sort of like... Well, the timeline doesn't exist now, so... And also, not only that, but it does that thing that I kind of don't like in certain sci-fi stories where it's like, oh, that version of Ruby didn't experience these events, so all the growth we see Ruby go through doesn't happen. So, and it's one of the things I don't like. You know, Nightmare in Silver? They do that thing where the timeline gets... Not Nightmare in Silver, sorry. Judy Center of the TARDIS. Yes. I was thinking Series 7. Judy Center of the TARDIS, where the timeline gets reversed, and that guy still thinks he's a robot at the end. It kind of gave me that a bit, which I wasn't overly keen on. I'd have preferred it if, and I can't take credit for this, I have to credit Confused Adipose, because we were talking about it the other night. I think we needed a scene at the end where the Doctor basically has a heart-to-heart with Ruby on what went down, kind of similarly to the end of Turn Left, where the Beetle gets explained, and you're like, oh, this parallel universe was created around you, whatever it was. Just something to kind of give a bit of clarity, because I think that would have solved a lot of issues. For, you know, obviously, like, for most people, including me, but especially you, Troy, and then, like, I think that would have helped a lot.
Easily my score, if there'd been an explanation section at the end, easily my score would jump up to an 8. I'd say that with confidence. I don't like that I finished the episode and went, what the hell happened there? And my mum and I was sat there watching me spend about 10 minutes afterwards being like, is it this? And I'm like, I don't know. Could it be that? No, this doesn't make sense. Because someone else in the chat I've just seen has said maybe it's just like an enchantment thing when you're stood next to them, you run away. That I love. If that's the idea, that's brilliant. She doesn't say anything. It's just an aura that makes people run away and has that effect. That would actually explain it better. Because in my theory, I was thinking, or maybe the woman says, you have to run away and be scared of her because it will set her on the right path to save the day. But if that's the case, why the hell would Roger Ap William run away when she's next to him? So it's like, there's not. I want there to be a way to answer it, because for this it ruins it a little bit for me. That takes the edge off.
I know Russell said in Unleashed that it's up to your imagination, basically. Like whatever you think could cause those reactions is yours. But I understand why for some people that doesn't really work for them.
Exactly.
They're kind of like, I want that. For me, I don't mind that we don't know what she says. There are just other things that I think not bother me more, but you know what I mean? There's other parts of it where I'm like, that's not really an issue for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sort of
absolutely.
Like, I get it, but there's other things kind of thing.
I'm just like, if it's not detrimental to the plot, I don't care. Like, I'm not bothered that the fact that Graham can see ghosts in the haunting of Villa Diodati has never answered, because it was a little side joke, and it's like, ooh, maybe
that
ghosts
is
are
weird,
real.
man. I know it's. I completely forgotten about that too.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's such a passing thing. It doesn't matter. Whereas, what is the woman saying? What is going on? Is so important, and it's not. It's only answered like 10% of the way. And I'd like, had it been answered a little. Not everything had to be answered, but just enough to clear up a lot of the confusion. It would have done it for me. So like, I'm really sad to give it that score. But for me, like, if I'm ranking out the episodes, 73 yards is firmly at the bottom so far, and I really hate that.
Below Space Babies.
Yeah.
Below
Confidently.
Space Babies, Troy. Oh, it makes me
73
sick to my
yards.
core.
Just no. Sorry.
It makes me sick to my core.
Because I was halfway through.
Have you only watched it once?
Literally, at the point where Carla runs off and gets in the taxi, I was like, this is amazing. I am hooked. And then it just didn't really do anything else.
Can I say something on that as well? I wish we had more of that.
Yeah.
I wish we had more scenes. I know you could say Curse of Clyde Lang has already done it, but let's face it, that was in one of the spin-offs nearly 20 years ago. It's a good concept, so why not do more with it? Like, why not have a scene as well where, what's her name? Cherry Sunday.
Yeah.
She has her moment of being like, leave. Stuff like that.
She goes to the old woman, and the old woman goes, she's never going to make you a cup of tea again, and she runs off.
yeah. It's like, I think one of my issues broadly, and I think this goes series wide, but I think for episodes like this that are more experimental, it really shows its hand. There's two things really. I think the episode should be longer, to maybe like an hour at least.
This one would have definitely
benefited
benefited
from
from
stories
that.
like this. But I also think, given that we're halfway through, I don't think 8 episodes is quite enough for a series like this.
It's not.
I don't know how popular of a hot take that is, but like, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I sort of think like, we're halfway through the series in terms of, how many episodes we got left and stuff like that. And I've enjoyed everyone to varying degrees. I've enjoyed everyone personally, but I am sort of thinking like, what's the like what's the vision? Do you know? Like, I know you could say, oh, it's fantasy and all of that stuff. Yes, but I need a little bit more than that almost. Do you know what I mean? Because like, if I look back at like, say, series 1, say like, by this point in the middle of the series, we're at like Dalek, right? And I feel like you know exactly what series 1 is by that point. I'm not sure I could explain to someone in the fullest terms what series 1 of Doctor Who, this new series 1 of Doctor Who,
that's fair.
is. Do you know what I mean? And it's not to say I dislike it, but I think I need some grounding almost. I need like, okay, this is our status quo. Because right now I don't really know what the status quo is.
It's true. It's a really, really, really good point. I'm excited, like, once we finish all of these reviews, to kind of reflect on season 1, because this is not what I expected from season 1. It is like very, very experimental, and it's like, it takes flavor of the week to the extreme, because you never know what you're gonna get. Okay, well, I'm glad that Troy's opinion's wrong this week, so I can deliver my 2 cents.
Right.
No, I'm kidding. No, Troy, I'm agreeing with what Tharries said, where you made, like, every point you made absolutely, like, resonates with me, and it annoys me. But I am, like, the biggest fan of, like, Black Mirror, The Twilight Zone, all of that. Like, this is, like, really, really my kind of stuff, and this episode just resonated with me so unbelievably much. So first of all, points to Millie, well done, you carried it. Love on your first episode, good job.
She was fantastic.
Secondly, I'm gonna have to look this up, because I really want to know who the director was.
Dylan
for
Holmes
this.
Williams.
Dylan Holmes Williams, yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't have to look it up. I've got two experts in the chat.
Yeah.
This was one of the best directed episodes I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It did look
Hands down.
fantastic.
And like as we said, the use of music was amazing, and then the use of not having music was amazing. The entire pub scene at the start, I think everyone in the chat's seeing to say, was the best bit. But there was like no music there. There was just a light little pitter patter of rain in the background, and there was a lot of natural tension there. And I just thought it was so well done. A lot of people had problems with the pacing. Absolutely, it was a slow episode. It was a slow burn, but I think that was the point, and that's the kind of stuff I love. That's the kind of stuff I love. But I wholeheartedly agree that yes, there should have been some kind of breakdown at the end there. I would have loved a Dr. Heart to Heart where Millie's like, oh, I think something crazy's just happened. Because they do mention in it that, like Kate says, oh, I think this might be an abandoned timeline. I think this might be like something's gone wrong here.
This timeline's
and I would love
orbiting
if
around
they
your event or something like that. Something
and I
like
think,
that.
well, I think Russell did try to explain it at the end there when he's like, oh, so what's the third time you went to Wales? And she's like, oh, now I think. But I wish she had like some kind of memory, be like, oh, actually, it was incredibly similar to this. And then, yeah, it's annoying because Ruby goes on this fantastic journey of character growth, and then it's kind of undone at the end. I would love to know if anything lingers, if there's going to be any follow-up to this. If there's like, you know, a lot of people were saying that I haven't seen Unleashed or whatever, but this lady that, like, you know, old Ruby or whatever got some kind of photo shoot, and a lot of people like, you know, usually they wouldn't get a promotional photo shoot if they weren't going to bring them back in some way. So maybe we're not done with this storyline, but look, it was superbly directed, superbly acted, and it kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. Some people didn't like the whole 180 to Roger Ap William. That didn't surprise me at all, and that scene on the football field is probably one of my favorites this season.
I loved that, yeah.
I
loved
it, and I was like, that's the payoff. That's Act 3. That's the Act 3 climax that resolves, like, you know, this massive plot line that Ruby is like, this is my destiny to do this right now, and she used this hindrance to her advantage, and I was like,
Yeah,
this
I
is
thought
brilliant.
that was really clever.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was great. And I was going to say as well, just quickly, because I was like, with that stadium scene, it was really fun to watch because I was a Cardiff City season ticket holder for many years. So that's my football grounds. So I was there
that's
like,
so
oh,
cool, dude.
I was
That's
there
so
like,
cool.
oh, I used to sit there, you know, just watching, like, oh, that's nice. I mean, I that's another thing I want to say as well about Roger Ap William. I did find it really funny that despite the fact that he'd become Prime Minister now and he was all important, he still wanted to have his big speech at Cardiff City Stadium, which I thought was great.
A Welshman through and through.
Exactly, and I mean, he had the good sense to check the weather forecast before he did his speech because it wasn't raining.
Yeah.
So, you know, there we are.
You've just given me a really good idea, Crispy, which is, imagine if instead the way the episode had come to a climax was in using the old woman and, like, whatever the curse is that she has against Roger Ap William, that breaks out the curse, time rewinds there, and Shooty's able to explain, oh, here's what happened, blah. There isn't that end bit about who the woman is, it's just that was some curse, it doesn't have to have been Ruby. I actually think I'd have liked that a lot more nicer, because that is an Act 3 thing, but it keeps going after that and then doesn't explain anything, so you made, without, I don't know if it's your intention, but you actually made a really good suggestion as to how it should have gone instead for me, personally.
I'm like, absolutely, I think the episode could have given way more answers. I think that's the main gripe. With
It's my only gripe.
They were like,
My
wow.
only gripe.
It's purely like, you kind of, at the end there going, huh, and it just depends on if you are someone that likes to have all the answers. Well, I mean, I feel like some people like a degree of ambiguity, but there were a lot of unanswered questions in this. But I think, for me, I was just blown away by this episode that I was like, I'm fine. You know, I can check Twitter and everyone will have some kind of theory that I can be like, oh, that's probably exactly what happened. That's probably exactly what happened. Is, you know, do I like the idea of people having to do their homework after watching a show? No, I don't. But look, it was 45 minutes of some actually properly creepy Doctor Who stuff. I would have I'd feel so much better showing someone this episode than Space Babies. Even though I don't think either are an accurate representation of what Doctor Who is, but they care. It's either of those can be like, look, these are the two sides of Doctor Who. Most things kind of like in between here. So enjoy.
Yeah, it's so interesting listening to you both because it's sort of like, do you know, like the angel and the devil on the shoulder thing? It's that.
Yeah.
Because like I've been having this exact conversation in my head since I watched it. On the one hand, I want to say, this is, Russell's subversive new masterpiece, 9, 10. But there's another part of me going, but that didn't really quite get resolved, or that didn't quite work for me, which is why I'm sort of landing somewhat in the middle between those two perspectives. And I think that's the most justified placement I could give it. I was going to say, on the pacing thing, I think it was Crispy who said you didn't mind it was slow-paced. Honestly, I'd kind of say the reverse. For me, where I would say my issue was that some things felt like they needed a bit more time than what they got.
Interesting.
I think, personally, particularly the Roger Ap Williams stuff, like, I like the way it's resolved, what you said with the camera and them coming into focus. I thought that was great. But the actual integration of it, I felt was a little bit like, I don't know, it almost felt like two different episodes to me. It didn't
ham-fisted, yeah.
It didn't quite connect, and it's like, it sort of reminded me of, if you've ever seen Years and Years, which is one of Russell's other shows, it was sort of like watching the scenes with Vivian Rook, who's like the Prime Minister evil person in that show, but like on fast forward. Like we get one scene of him saying he's going to launch nukes, and then the next scene we see him, he's Prime Minister, and I just sort of feel like I'd have liked to see more scenes of getting to know what his motivation was and why he wanted to launch the nukes. Because that was another thing, like, they don't really say why. He just sort of wants to do... And I know he says that for years, like, the Welsh people were, downtrodden and stuff like that. And, like, sure, but there's a big difference between acknowledging historical stuff like that and going, I'm going to nuke everyone. Like, it's quite a jump, so I would have liked to have seen more of the rationale. I am wondering if he's going to come back, because he almost seems too big a deal to just pop up and leave. Like, oh yeah, that one guy who was the Prime Minister for a minute, who ran away and said he wanted to launch nukes. I feel like he probably will come back. Then again,
maybe
you could say the same for Jack Robertson, Trump man, and he sort of just ran away. That was it. So maybe it'll be nothing. I don't know.
Well, what I will say is, first off, Crispy, you might want to refresh the SpeakPipe page, because we've had 2 new calls in apparently, so we could always include those in a minute. What I will say is that I've lost my train of thought. Oh no, it's gone. Yes, there we go. Other comparison I would make to Before the Flood. I was thinking Prime Minister that wants a nuclear war. Could that be the Minister of War we heard a tease about? We had a conversation between Capaldi and one of the base crew people. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like, who's the Minister of War? Never mind, I'll find out later. I actually thought that could... I mean, it wasn't referenced, it probably wasn't, but I was sat there thinking, is that the Minister of War?
I'm kind of glad they didn't say it was, just because, like, I almost feel like... I mean, I don't mind it if they did say it, but I sort of almost feel like for a character like that, you'd want a bit more of him. You know what I mean? But
that's another gripe, I would say. I have more than one gripe. So I realised he said it,
I've noticed.
Well, no, because most of mine does tie to things not being explained.
No,
so the other thing
it's not even that I disagree. No, it's not even that I disagree. What was it? Yeah, no, there was something else I wanted to add quickly.
So,
I was going to say as well, I thought it was really cool how they actually filmed on a moving train. I thought that was really cool. If you watched it at least.
Yeah,
amazing.
That was really. And I remember the filming happening. I wasn't there, but I remember seeing the filming reports. People being like, "Oh my god, they're filming on a moving train," and I thought, for a 20-second scene as well, that's some dedication. So,
but it's a brilliant, like, that is.
It is. Yeah.
Like, they could have easily done that in CGI. They could have got like this one train carriage at Beowulf Studios. They got green screens on the side, and they could just CGI plop a person that's so far away that you could get away with VFX. But it looks like they actually did that, right? Was she standing in fields?
We don't see that.
Or was that CGI?
I think she actually was standing in them, personally.
I just thought it was this episode, the amount of location shooting. I was like, this is some really, really good stuff. Like, I can only, like, I reckon the hospital bit was a set, but the rest of it, like, the cliff tops looked fantastic.
Oh yeah.
The pub was a real pub. The amount of work that went into like the campaign room with all of the Albion.
I
Like
remember
signage.
seeing all the filming for that at the time. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, the amount of budget that has gone into like finessing the details, like as they're walking out to the stadium, on the walls there they have all of the branding for Roger Ap Gwilliam, and I was like, that takes time and effort, and the episode is all the better for it.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with this episode, and I'm shocked with a 5 out of 10. Quite frankly, Troy.
Someone in the chat said, if it's your only gripe, why is your score so low? Because I feel the gripe annoys me that much. That's why. I want to rewatch it.
What else? So you've got plot holes.
Yeah.
And that's worth 5 points. I feel like you've got.
Well,
a
plot
point
holes
for
is
each
worth
plot
4,
hole.
and then the like I said earlier, the jarring jump between like the woman following to suddenly we're back on Roger William would be 1. I felt like that, like Tharries said, that felt a bit strange, the jump between the two.
What was the last episode you gave a 5 out of 10 to?
No idea. I'd have to think about
What
it.
did you give Legend of the Sea Devils out of curiosity?
I
just
don't
asked.
know. Probably somewhere
it's
around
like
a 5,
7?
honestly. No,
Really?
not a 7. If I've said a
reckon
7
you gave
before,
it.
then I'm dreaming.
I'll find out. I'll find
Yeah,
out.
go back and find out.
Oh,
Like, I have
just,
changed my scores more than once on things before, but...
Wanted to highlight someone in the chat saying, hearing Great Western Railway service in a Doctor episode was insane to me. Yeah, I felt exactly the same. Because that's the one I always get to London. I was like, oh my god.
We've got so many things to talk about, I feel like, and we've not
Yeah.
taken any more callers. We should do more of those. But I just want to land a couple of things, if you're talking about them later. First off, first acknowledgement of Susan Twist from an in-universe character. Haven't I seen it
Yes.
before?
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah, that was
Stuff.
interesting.
Love
Yeah.
that. And also, there was another thing. What was the other thing? Blah, 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 blah. It's gone. It's gone. Let's talk Susan Twist. What do we think? There was another
It's a
thing I was going to say.
fugazi, a
It's gone.
fugazi, it's a wazzy, it's a woozy, it doesn't exist.
Well, I'm glad. Like, I'm glad they're actually referencing it. Russell's been so cheeky, being like, "Oh, you know, we ran out of actors." I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Russell, you cheeky
To be
boy.
fair, he did kind of say after he went, no, we've noticed, we know you've noticed, or will be revealed. Like, I think people have forgot that bit, but he did say that.
I think she's a really, really good actress.
Yeah.
Really, really. And what line is it? Like Ruby's like, "Oh, have we met before?" And she's like, "I wouldn't think so," or something like that. But it was like almost a hint of
Yeah.
like something sinister.
Felt a bit
Almost
Clara-y
hint of
to me.
something sinister.
You know, oh, I've seen
Yeah.
you before, I'm going, don't know what you're on about, mate.
Don't know,
Yeah.
don't know what you're
Yeah.
about.
No,
Yeah.
that was really good. And like, I was gonna say as well, in terms of ongoing season arc stuff, the snow gets a revisit. What I found interesting about it was when Ruby's mum abandons her in that scene. That's the last time we see the snow, and she says when she's older, it never snowed again. It's not snowed since. So I'm wondering, the snow, in order for the snow to happen, whatever power or connection Ruby has, whatever it is, she must, the foster mum must have something to do with it. I don't know what, but without her in the equation, the snow goes away, and I think that's something to point out. Don't know whether it'll mean anything, but I thought it was an interesting thing to point out. But yeah, I loved that scene as well. I mean, one of my favourite scenes, probably of this, like, this Shooty's era so far. The scene where she goes home, and the door's locked on her, and she says,
wow.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really your mother, am I?
That was
Not even-
heartbreaking. I loved
she
that.
She didn't even want you. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's
that was
brutal.
Yeah, it was. I do
The
find
whole
it,
oh,
yeah,
the
you go
nightmare timeline is just it's a good idea.
It's a
is.
fantastic
Great
idea.
it is.
I've got two things to raise. The first teeny tiny one is that I love Mrs. Flood interjecting herself into the story
Yeah.
for like 2 seconds.
Yep.
And then she's like,
I don't care.
she's almost like, I'm too early. I'm too
Yeah.
early. It's not me.
I'm going back to bed.
I'm out. I'm going back to bed. I'm not messing with this. The second thing, now I've lost my train of thought. Gosh damn it. I had a really, really good
So did
point,
I, and
now
it still
it's
hasn't come back to me.
gone.
Still hasn't come
I
back to
got
me.
distracted by Mrs. Flood. Oh no.
Well,
That's
that-
the problem with trying to talk about this episode, though, is
Mm.
I feel like so many like weird things happen that it'll just keep coming back to your head. Like, oh yeah, that.
Oh,
Tharries-
I've got it.
Oh, never mind, go on.
I've got it. Sorry. The scene with Kate Stewart. Kate Stewart was fantastic in this. Like, really
That's what I was going to say.
genuinely
Loved the
great.
Kate Stewart
Yeah.
scene.
But it's like let's throw everything in the Doctor Who universe. We have it right now. We have the specialists. They've done the psychic training. They're good with witchcraft. Let's throw like this is the big saving grace for Ruby. Almost, you can almost feel a sense of relief when they rock up because you have been sympathizing with Ruby this whole time. You're like, finally, something is getting done, and then it's stripped away just like that. I was like, this is compelling television. This is. I was shocked, and Ruby's performance, like when like it all goes wrong and she like slams the teacup was fantastic. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but a bit of direction I loved was that the umbrellas at the cafe matched exactly what was on Ruby's jacket. I thought it was just a really aesthetically pleasing shot. I really liked that. Cool. But so yeah, I look. I've got some stats here, Troy. You gave Legend of the Sea Devils a 5 out of 10.
There you go. I figured. I'm glad that.
Do you think this is honestly on par with Legend of the Sea Devils?
I'll say something you don't want me to say if you poke the bear too much, Crispy.
Oh God, he's gonna say it's better.
No, I wouldn't say that. But if you ask me which one I'd actually prefer to rewatch, I'd rewatch Legend of the Sea Devils. At least as a decent ending. It's not a good one, but at least I don't leave it going, what the hell happened? Go on, do it. I don't care. I don't care. Like, I want to rewatch this episode to change my opinion, but I genuinely, for the first time, I think ever, I have no motivation to rewatch it because I felt there were so many unanswered questions that I know it's going to screw my head even more. And bear in mind, I hate saying this. And as Tharries said, it's like, it just depends on how much the inconsistencies impact you. I've said to you how much I like The Rise of Skywalker. There are so many things in that undo what happened in The Last Jedi, but I sit there and just go, I don't care. Here I care.
Every episode is not like this.
Oh my God, I've just seen like there is a revolt going on in the chat.
Yeah, I think I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, at least Sea Devils has the Sea Devil swearing. Yeah, exactly. Well said. Also, just to upset you a bit, Tharries, Micron made a good point in the chat. We're all saying, oh, we loved that we had some Susan Twist acknowledgement. Well, the timeline got undone, so now that didn't happen.
We don't know to what extent.
Yes, we did. That got undone completely. Let's be fair. That's one thing we can ascertain.
The next episode is directed by the same person, written by the same person. We'll see what look, Dot Bubble is probably not going to be the best one, but we'll see.
People say this. I think it's going to be a sleeper hit.
I'm really excited for that, but also, I've read the previews in Doctor Who magazine, and it's really funny, Crispy, that you said this felt Black Mirror-y, because in the preview, they say that Dot and Bubble feels like the most Black Mirror-y thing.
Yeah.
This one was more Twilight Zone than Black Mirror, I must admit. But I just like stories that linger with you, that make you feel, and like this one, it felt like it took itself seriously. The tonal shift between Space Babies to this...
That is refreshing, coming off of Space Babies and Devil's Court. To have something that is just fully taking itself seriously. I did appreciate that tonally, but I guess that's one of my slight issues, and it's not this story's fault, but I almost feel like I'd like a bit more tonal consistency within the series
across
as a whole.
The board.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Like, Tharries, you've nailed it on the head there, because Series 1 is this weird like, we've got... like Space Babies Devil's Cord are bombastic, in your face. Wow, oh my gosh, sci-fi, here we go, we're having fun, we're having adventures, wacky villains. Then we get Boom and 73 Yards, ones that take themselves much more seriously, probably have more literally quite grounded episodes in both cases. But it's like it's almost watching two different shows.
Well, both involve 15 stepping on something he shouldn't and causing a load of chaos, so not too similar.
And also, someone pointed this out, I can't remember who, but in both of Kate's appearances so far in this era, she gets possessed by something and is evil for a bit. And also, actually, if we're talking about that, Carla Sunday says she doesn't, love kids twice. She does the evil thing in Church on Ruby Road as well, where she's like, I only do it for a bit of money, so I'm sort of like, is that going somewhere, or is that just like a coincidence? I don't know.
Look, Russell is very good at having these through threads, and I feel like us as Doctor Who fans with him coming back know this, and we're looking out for everything. I don't think that's the case, but I could be surprised. I could be wrong in 4 seasons time when he's like, oh yeah, there's a thing where people only want to possess Kate. We'll see.
Can I just defend myself briefly about the Sea Devil thing, because I know I've caused a problem. I want to just can I just touch on this for a second?
We're down to 5 viewers live.
In terms of which episode is worse, Sea Devils is worse. Forget that they both have the same score. Objectively, Sea Devils is worse.
Only
it is
by
destroyed.
a fraction.
It is destroyed by the editing. It is absolutely destroyed. We've said this a million times. But the plot has, even though it's messy, a start, finish, and end. I don't come out at 73 yards thinking it has a particularly notable end. I don't like how it wraps, and that's the difference. That's why it has the same score. Because if it had an ending as strong as the rest of the episode, I'd be sat here with you, Crispy, going, that's an 8 or a 9 out of 10. I'd have absolutely loved it. Because it had me, and then when it didn't explain stuff, I was just gone. You know, Sea Devils is not a good episode, but at least it explains the things that are important to the plot, at least fairly decently, and those are the points. So that's why, okay? Good. Don't shoot me. I'm sorry. I'm glad that you all love it. I would much rather everyone else call me crazy. I'd much rather that than everyone agree with me, to be honest. I don't like being negative. I hate it. I really do.
I think it's fine to have your criticisms, though. That's
no,
all good.
I'm too optimistic a person. Being negative, it kills my soul.
It's all good. I mean, I'm in the place of, like, full disclosure, in terms of, even though I've had my criticisms of it, this is the most I've enjoyed Doctor Who in a while.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
Especially including the 60th specials as well. Like, if we include all of it as a package, it's like, it's been, I've enjoyed everything we've gotten up until this point. I guess when I criticize it, it's not to say, I think it's awful, terrible show. It's more to say, you're so close to making something genuinely fantastic. There's just a little, sometimes there's just little things where I'm like, it's like, yeah, I think that I do it out of love. And
that's just what's done it for me.
Basically.
That's all it took.
I do it out of love,
you
know, but 5 out of 10 and putting it on the same level as Legend of Sea Devils is insane, and I will.
It's on the same level as a score perspective. It's not on the same level for anywhere near the same reason.
Yeah, but the score's the score.
Well, on paper, it doesn't look good, Troy.
Okay.
The optics are not great.
Well, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Sorry.
Anyway, yeah, what was moving on from Sea Devils?
Please. Oh, actually, let's not. Can I?
Yeah, because there is something slightly related. I think we're on the same wavelength.
We might be.
The war between the land and
the
sea. Yeah.
He said that, and I went, "Oh no! Oh no!" Should we? Crispy, this is your channel that we're live on right now. Should you explain that connection?
The War Between the Land and the Sea is a spin-off show that will involve the Sea Devils, apparently.
Heavily
and there
rumored.
is a direct reference to that line. Well, they reference the supposed title of the show right at the start of the episode. I don't think
for
it
word.
could happen. I think it's a cheeky little nod to whatever spin-off show they're doing. Unit, not the 14th Doctor. I think that's the working title of whatever spin-off show they're doing. Like in production documents, in filming, they're calling it that, but it won't be that because it's a funny little inside.
Like how Torchwood was the code name for like Doctor Who before it became its own show.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what I think's going on.
I wanted to say, I think it's interesting as well. The thing that made me think about spin-offs beyond that was the scene where Kate goes, "Oh, the Unified Intelligence Task Force exists to deal with, aliens and all this, and increasingly the supernatural." So I was thinking about this. I was like, because I still think a unit spin-off of some variety is the most likely. I think it just makes sense with how much of presence they've been. But I was thinking, how do you make that different from Torchwood? Because that's already kind of what Torchwood was, sort of. And I was thinking, well, they could always be Doctor Who Ghostbusters, and they're fighting ghosts,
the supernatural,
and supernatural things, and that would be different. So, yeah,
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down. Look, I don't know. I like the unit show. I don't know if there's that much demand for it, but it certainly makes sense.
I guess
we'll see with the finale.
It wouldn't be.
I think the finale
choice.
will kind of set up things.
Yeah, it wouldn't be my choice for a spin-off, but I guess if you were going to do it and you wanted to make it different, making them fight the supernatural would make sense, because then you'd have a unit kind of out of their element a bit, I guess.
Okay, so
exactly.
Everyone saw the visual clue. We're not saying it over the words, but we talked about spin-offs. I held up a particular Sonic prop, and I think that's all that needs to be said.
Oh.
So we have.
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even clock it.
We have a feature. We have a feature, Crispy. Do you want to do the feature, or should we do more callers? What would you rather do?
We can do.
Crispy's
actually, do you know what? Let's do the callers, because we can do feature and then Patreon,
here.
and from your end that'll be easier.
Apparently, according to the chat, you're not on screen anymore. Apparently. I'm flagging it now just because.
Oh, really?
They're all saying it.
On my screen, everything is fine.
On my screen, everything's fine as well.
It might be because
I mean,
Crispy's freezing occasionally. Here, we're recording on Riverside as well to make the
It
feel
looks
a bit better,
okay.
so
It looks okay. I've got the video open.
Yeah,
now.
that might be why. That might be
All
why.
right, here we go. Let's
Bingo. Oh, we're doing bingo. Okay.
Bingo. What? Bingo.
How'd you done that without closing the screen share? I thought you couldn't soundboard while you were sharing screen.
Riverside is updated.
Oh, let's go!
We're gonna play some bingo.
Well, we're not really,
bingo.
I'm going to be honest with you, because I've looked over the bingo card, and I think this is about to be the shortest bingo segment we've ever had in the show's history. I'm going to put it right here, above Crispy. Your chin is resting on it. There you go. So, for the audio listeners, we have our bingo card that every week we tick off with any things that happen. We are one card away in one line from getting bingo. We just need 15 to die, somehow, canonically. We'll see if that happens. Or, on the other side of the coin, we could have Donna Noble return and Ruby dying for 2 marks. We didn't count Ruby as dying in Boom because she didn't quite get there. They're the two closest ones.
I'd count her
right
more
now.
so in this episode, my friend.
She technically does die.
I'm crossing it off. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Fair. I was
we're
about
on
to
her
say we
deathbed.
didn't cross a single thing off. So, Catherine Tate, if you have filmed Doctor Who, you're going to make us bingo boys very, very happy, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Fair play. Fair play. But, my friends, is there anything else? That's a little Windows noise in the audio, sorry. While I'm saving the file. Anything else to cross off? Because I don't think there is.
Nah. I think we're fine.
No, I
We
don't
can
think
address
so.
the fact that we had a card for 73 yards as a 10 out of 10. I'm telling you right now. Well, none of us are ticking that off, but I certainly am
close.
not.
Especially not if you're Troy.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
To be fair, Crispy, didn't you say 9.5? So you're
Yeah, I
kind
said
of close.
9.5. This is like it's just the type of
Actually,
episode
let me ask
that I
you,
like.
Crispy.
It's something that I wanted to see in Doctor Who for
Why
ages.
9.5? Why not 10 for you, Crispy?
Oh, because the exact same reasons as everyone in the room. I don't think it's perfect because there is something like that needs to be desired. Like,
Okay.
and it's just I would have liked a few answers. I'm fine with not knowing exactly what was said. I really do wish there was some kind of debrief or something at the end there, because Ruby's saying, "Oh, this is my 3rd time to Wales, but I don't remember." I think like it's the same thing now. It's kind of an ending, but I just think the final act they just needed to nail on the head, and they almost did for me. They almost did. Like the shot of the grandma, old Ruby going like this, and it's of the tree, and then it pans down to see the TARDIS, and it's the start of the episode. It's some of the coolest Doctor Who I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I did.
That is an impeccable bit of direction.
I saw a lot of people saying they didn't really like the ending of her turning out to be the woman. For me, that was one of the things that worked. I was like, no,
That was a jaw-dropping moment.
I
I
quite
was like,
liked that.
oh,
I quite liked that.
want some more explanation. I want some more explanation as to why that was the case. As soon, like, you know, Ruby can make snow appear out of nowhere, but can she? Is she like? Does she have some kind of power where she can make people run away now? Or,
Well, I had a think as well, because they say that if you remember, again with the Kate Stewart scene, there's a scene where they're like, what do they say? Something like it was where it happened was where the TARDIS was landed. So maybe that's part of the reason the perception of the woman is a bit.
yeah. All
funky.
these little details.
So
that
what I was,
they kind of
what I was
honed in on.
thinking, my sort of theory is the reason she can go back to that moment is because that's a bit of the TARDIS being like time travel-y. Do you get what I mean? Like,
That would be great.
She goes back to that time because it's kind of it's a supernatural thing that's been enhanced by the TARDIS. Essentially, is my.
And
is
all
my
we needed
reading.
was Shooty to say that at the end. And
Yeah.
we're like,
Sort of
huh.
like Amy's choice with the little space granules that go inside the TARDIS and make the Dream Lord. I was sort of thinking like that. But that's the thing. That's the thing, isn't it? Really, like Amy's choice, when you boil it down, is the type of episode that this kind of also somewhat is, in the sense
Yeah,
of
I get you.
But it's much
I
better.
get you.
it's weird. I mean, I agree, it's better. But my point is,
Thank you, Tharries. Crispy, you don't matter here anymore. Thank
I
you.
agree
Continue,
I
Tharries.
agree
It's my
better.
channel.
Don't
it's my
care.
stream.
I agree it's better, but I think where that episode, a lesson that this episode could benefit from that one is that ending scene where you go, where you have that sit down scene
Yeah,
of like
100%, 100%.
So what's the deal here? I think that could have really helped because, I think I am in complete agreement with that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else major that we haven't spoken about yet.
Well, Cameron Smith in the chat is going crazy mentioning this. He said, "I would like to know where the Doctor went and why." So, where'd they go?
I thought just removed from
Costa?
existence. I guess just gone. Just gone. And the
Yeah,
TARDIS
that's
just kind of... It reminded me of Parting of the Ways, where the Ninth Doctor was like, let the old box gather dust, no one will know it's there,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
Also,
because the
Wobbly
Doctor's not
Yonder
there.
with the
Wobbly Yonder, there's that
Wobbly
whole
Yonder,
scene
yeah.
where, yeah.
Yes, he mentions about
and
it
it's
being
like-
left on an
and it's like-
alcove and
and
all
it
that.
just gets like worshipped and people build.
We didn't
stuff
get quite
around
that far, but yeah, exactly.
it. No.
Yeah. But we sort of do with them laying out flowers, and no one really seems to know why they're doing it. They just sort of do, which I actually quite liked that.
That was a lovely touch.
Yeah, no, I quite liked that. What was the other thing? There was something else.
Yeah, I was going to say you had something you wanted to say, what was
There's
it?
a million things in this episode
It's
that
gone.
we could hone in on.
Okay, if it comes back,
all of
interrupt
us
me.
have forgotten something.
Yeah.
I know why all of us have forgotten something, because when I was going for my walk today, I knocked over a bit of string and bird skulls, and now we're all living different timelines.
Oh,
of
moving
things that could have
swiftly on.
happened.
Boys,
This
I
is
went...
the bad
I'm gonna-
timeline
I'm
for
gonna
Troy.
become Prime
This is
Minister of the
bad
UK.
timeline
Well,
for Troy.
Well, I became season 1, episode 6 of Doctor Who, because I went rogue on you guys while you were talking and ticked off another box on the bingo
Wow.
grid. Can you see what I ticked off?
What have you done?
You probably won't be able to spot
Mavity?
it, but...
I can't tell.
No.
Needle
Everyone in the
drop?
chat pointed out that 15 said, spoilers, 15 seconds in. And
Oh,
I agree
yeah.
with the live chat. I'm counting that as a bit of a song reference, because that was very
Oh,
much our
did
line.
everyone? Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
Are we in
Yeah, I
agreement?
didn't think of that. Did you see the little the reaction video Shooty and Millie did of them
Yeah, that
reacting
was
to all
good.
Doctor Who
That-
clips?
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
And he's
funny.
like, I have to choose between Captain Jack and my wife. I love that. That was great.
Emily's like, she's my wife too.
Can I get the stamp of approval, though? Are we signed off that that is counting as a bit of a song
Yeah,
reference?
I think that's
Yeah.
fair. I think
Get
that's
rid of
fair
it. I don't
enough.
want to see it anymore. I'm sick of it.
All right, well, last thing on the bingo card I just want to make a point out of. 15's best costume for more than 10 seconds. We still didn't see his outfit. However, what do we think of 15 cosplaying as Nardole?
That's great.
It's like I'd say
Lovely.
it's one of his weakest looks for me.
It is his
Yeah.
weakest, full stop. I don't.
It is-
I made
yeah,
a joke to my
hands-
mum went, the only advantage of
agree.
the Doctor being gone in this episode is we didn't see that outfit for more than like a minute. I was like, I did not. That was rough. It was
I think
rough.
if he'd have been in that for like a full 45-minute episode, I would have struggled to take him seriously. I'd be like, I can't take you
Look,
seriously looking like
yeah.
Paddington Bear.
I love
Like, it's
Nardole,
just-
and I think Shooty pulls off the outfit, but I don't think the Doctor pulls off the outfit. It's too Nardole for me.
That's fair.
So,
That's
Yeah.
fair.
yeah, there you go.
Also,
There
did
you
you see that in Dot and Bubble, the next one, we're actually going to see those reveal
The
costumes,
reveal. Yeah, finally.
Which,
My
like-
gosh.
Wait,
which
what?
is very fun.
You know that
Yeah.
video they filmed in the car park where it's like, oh, here's the costume.
Wait, hang
and
on.
then
So his
they're
best
like,
costume's
"Woo."
going to be Dot and Bubble?
I
Yeah,
think
baby.
so. Anyway, if you like that one, yeah.
That's my favourite
What?
one, Tharries! It's the
Hold on.
card on the bingo card that we get that outfit
Oh.
for more than 10 seconds. That's the one I'm talking...
We
Oh, that's
haven't
it.
Seen
It's
with
going to
the
be a 10 out of
coat
10
in the
next week.
trailer.
It's
We
going to be a
haven't
10 out of
seen
10
it
next
to be
week.
fair,
in the
we
trailer.
didn't see the coat, to be fair, so that, you might
No,
go,
no, you
"I'm gonna
can't. You
take it
can't
off
build
now."
me up just to knock me down now. It's too late. You've done it. You've done it now. To be fair, someone did say that he had a fake mustache looking in the trailer, so it suggests that was early on. So it was filming for that episode.
Yep.
Can I say something? I think Sex Education Season 4 ruined my life. No. What I mean by that
It
is,
wasn't great.
it wasn't great, and it's also kind of ballsed up Doctor Who a little bit, because I think Dot and Bubble might be a little bit Doctor-like. I don't know that for definite, but I'm seeing a lot of people say that, and I'm sort of like, I want more Shooty. You know
I
what
hope
mean?
it's not Doctor-like, because I will have a problem with that as well.
It's Barbie's fault as well. Yeah, 2 Doctor Light episodes back to back is a strain.
Because even
Especially
Boom,
in
like,
an
he's in it a
8-episode
lot.
season.
Like, even Boom, he's in it a lot, but he is completely stationary. So that's sort of like, oh, he must have filmed that for a few days and then gone back. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see him in action. No, don't get me wrong. I want to clarify. I love what they did with Boom, but I want more of him running about and
Yes,
being
that I agree
athletic.
with.
And, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
Because he's
That's
so good
fair.
at all that. You
I
know,
want more
he's,
of him
like,
running to
bounding
his
on-
theme. That's when
Yeah.
Doctor's at its best, is a Doctor running to that, like David
Like-
Tennant running down a corridor with dun 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 dun, or Matt Smith with I Am the Doctor. Like, I want 15 with his theme dun 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 dun, dun like
Yeah.
perfect. I'd love that.
Yeah, and it's like when he's jumping over rooftops and shit on Ruby Red, it's like, we've got such a
Yeah.
athletic Doctor now. It's like, make use of it. And I
Make
don't
him do
think he's
hurdles.
fully
Put him on
seen
an
that.
Olympic track. He'd look great.
Yeah,
He'd do
yeah,
great.
yeah.
He'd do great.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
All right,
What-
should we
what-
take some
Troy,
more
we've
callers?
got
Because
stuff to do.
we are an hour into this and we've had two callers.
We gotta. All right,
And then we'll have a Patreon section at the end. Let's have some callers and let's see if we can get some detox. This has basically been an hour of group therapy. Okay.
It really has. Okay, here we go.
And I
Say
want to
Tharry.
formally apologise for my negativity. I'm very sorry. I feel bad, but sorry, this episode.
No,
wasn't
you're,
for me.
dude. You're entitled to your opinion.
I know,
Yeah.
but I am the
You say
man who
you're
is
wrong.
positive about Morbius, Crispy. Morbius.
We're trying to sell the podcast, dude. We're trying to sell the podcast.
I can't help, I can't help you with everything, but I can say you're allowed your opinions.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Say Harry, hello, welcome to the show.
Say, Harry, what have you got?
Hi, I'm Harry and I'm from Earth, and my thoughts on 73 Yards is that it's a really good episode to show off Ruby as a companion, because to be completely honest, I haven't been too fond of Ruby so far. I don't know if that's controversial, I just kind of haven't, but now I think she's great as a companion. Honestly, that was an amazing performance from her. And yeah, 73 Yards, it didn't even feel like a Doctor Who episode at times, like it just felt like a movie. I don't know. I can't tell if I really like it or not. It's strange. But I definitely like it. I just can't tell if I really like it.
Wow. We've been
Sometimes it
talking
just
for
takes
an hour
a
and
good
half,
performance from a
and-
companion, yeah, and it'll seal you on them. I like that. I like they said that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
agree. I think I've always liked Ruby, but I think this one, I think seeing her really tested without the Doctor was needed. The only thing I'm waiting on now is something I really want to see. I want to see her and the Doctor disagree on something.
Yeah.
We haven't really had
Yeah.
that yet. I want to see them butt heads on something, because
I
right
can
now it's
guarantee you, I know what it is.
Oh.
And Troy will know too.
Oh yeah.
It's the
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
parents thing. They set it up right at the start
Yeah,
of Space
yeah,
Babies.
true,
It'll
true.
it'll reach ahead where there will be some kind of chance to find out who they are, or the Doctor already knows who they are and is holding back. That's going to be the big emotional conflict, the big payoff of this season. Can
Yeah.
guarantee. Okay, who should we have? Jam Jam.
Jam Jam. What's Jam Jam got to say?
Hello, Jam Jam.
Hello. I think this episode is really good, and I've had a friend put it on the same pedestal as Heaven Sent. Also, if the alternate timeline was stopped, does that mean that Roger Ap William still got the codes and still pressed the button to nuke everything? If that's true, I think it all being for nothing makes it so much more unsettling and horrifically good. That's the most horrific part of the episode, and
I love,
that's incredible.
I love how Troy was nodding right up until
Yeah!
that.
Right up until
Yeah.
you're like, that would make it better.
The definition of the Hannah's in the first half, not gonna lie meme. I was like, that's really, no. Oh God.
Oh, well, Jam Jam, I'm look, I don't think I like the idea of Ruby's action meaning nothing and that be more horrifying. I can see
It makes
I
the
can see the
episode
logic there.
worse for me.
Jam. But no, we need to keep it at least a 5 for Troy, so let's not plant any more ideas in his head.
It's now a 4.
okay.
No, it's not.
Let's,
Do you know what, Crispy? Let's be even more fun, because we are a hotline and we are live. Refresh the page because Jeremy Duncan has just called in.
Oh my gosh, we've never had live.
Yeah, I really like this. I just got the email and went, you know what? Jeremy, what have you got?
Hello, Jeremy.
Maybe he's been
Duncan.
listening.
Fairy Circle was holding Mad Jack until the Doctor stepped on it, and Ruby read the scrolls. This led to Mad Jack being reborn to become Prime Minister to bring about nuclear Armageddon as Roger Ap William. I believe there must have been some kind of force that was guarding Mad Jack that hexed Ruby with this time loop, who had the power to send people screaming and running away from her. However, for Ruby to realize this, it was necessary that it would push off any and all people she loved or even knew. Once she completed her task and Roger Ap William, aka Mad Jack, resigned due to the other being's interference, Ruby lived her life, but I think it pitied Ruby, so it decided to make her go back in time to the moment of her death to prevent the Doctor from freeing Mad Jack in the first place. Also, they did talk of perception filters, and it was a time loop, so it could have been the TARDIS that was responsible for setting Ruby on this plan.
Any explanation is fine. It's just
That's a
we
great
should've had that in the
explanation. Would have
episode.
loved it if there was even an inch of that in the episode.
I did
Yeah.
say while I was listening, because like obviously you were going into such depth. You know that meme from The Hangover where he's doing the deck of cards and he's there like really trying to focus on all the elements. But I will say, thought it was very good that you came to the same conclusion about the TARDIS thing as me. Very astute observation.
It would have been good.
Well, that's very Eve the Daleks, isn't it? Either in defending itself, the TARDIS creates a time loop.
Created a time loop. They could have even had a reference to that. That's
which you probably rate like a 9 or something compared to this. I don't know.
I loved Eve of the Daleks. That's one of my favorite Jodie episodes. Okay.
Yeah, phenomenal episode. All right, one more caller. Have we had Chris Chibnall?
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Chris Chibnall has called.
Tell us that there should have been more 15 running down corridors, please.
Okay, hello, Chris Chibnall. Thank you for calling in.
Hello, guys. Chris here, and I've got to say, Crispy's Chris Chibnall joke last week from my call really caught me off guard, so I'm just going to start labelling myself as Chris Chibnall now. I laughed out loud in public and probably looked a bit mental. But 73 Yards, I think, is another fantastic episode. I think we've got this nice trend of Boom was great, 73 Yards is great, and now I'm hoping that the rest of the season is just absolute top tier bangers. This was a real great showcase for Millie Gibson, especially when we all thought Millie Gibson was going to be a little bit more in Boom. It was quite nice that Boom is a showcase of Shooty Gatwa, and 73 Yards is a showcase of Millie Gibson. But yeah, it was just such a different episode, and it had a lot more of the kind of newer Russell T Davies writing that I was really hoping for. Some of the more kind of like Years and Years and It's a Sin style sensibilities to it. A lot of humanity, a lot of heart to it, a lot of mystery, a lot of creepiness, and I just wasn't expecting the episode that we got. It was just really, really left field, and I just loved everything about it.
Very well put.
Interesting.
Very well put.
I will say, because I completely agree with you with this feeling like new Russell T Davies. If that makes any sense, like Years and Years, I just poked myself in the eye. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Because I was rubbing my eyes. Because obviously I got up at like I've been I did this. I watched the episode at midnight, and I didn't get my like video out until like 1 a.m. and then went to sleep at like 2, 3. So I've been on the energy drink. So if you see me rubbing my eyes, that's why. But yeah. What was I even going to say? That was a tangent. I completely missed what I was going to say.
The new
about
Russell T Davies.
Yes, yeah. I agree that I'm liking seeing some newness to the style, and it's not like, because I think we can pretty firmly say, because I know a lot of people kind of said when the 60th came out, oh, it's just Star TD1 again, it's just Series 4. I think we can pretty firmly put that to bed now.
Yeah, he's got his little nostalgia bit out of the way, and even that felt fresh in some ways, but it did feel very reminiscent of Series 4. But
I think that was totally deliberate, and with this,
absolutely,
whatever you want to say about it, it does not feel like RTD1, at least to me. Space Babies is probably the closest, and even then, I don't know whether you'd have got away with Talking Babies in 2005. I don't know whether you'd have got away with it.
Or Bogeyman.
Or Bogeyman, indeed, yeah.
I don't even know if you got away with it in 2024.
No, I wouldn't say
so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks. Well, in that case, Tharries, we need to make sure you get to bed soon. So we've got one last segment, and we are going to take some calls from our Patreon subscribers, because we do this once a month. And normally they're the only calls of the episode, but with it being episode reviews, we're laxing that for the next couple of live ones, because we both agreed it would be very unfair for actual reviews to be left out. But usually the rule is once every month, only the Patreon callers get to say about whatever, whether it's the episode topic or something different. So our Patreon callers are ready to call in and give their thoughts. And if you want to join, then you head to patreon.com/who'stheirdw to get access to episode watch-alongs, call-ins, early episodes when it's not in the middle of a series, and a few other cool perks. The next watch-along is going to be coming very soon. We've got to record that this week, Crispy. We have got some new callers, though. So just welcome to some of our new ones. We have one, unfortunately. I'm going to shout out George, who did not send in a call in. I reached out. I don't know if he's very active on Discord, so shout out to him, because there should have been one for him. Unfortunately, he didn't get one in, but we still have 4. My only request, Crispy, is we're going to finish with the Beast Bosses, and I have a reason for that. Okay. We'll get to it later. So anyone but Beast Boss to begin with.
Let's start with, Conor McRae. Here we go.
Well,
hello.
Conor McRae always cooks. I'm excited.
Hello, Connor. It's not going to load.
I've gathered you all here today because we have got a problem that could shatter time into a million little pieces. It could wreck the fabric of reality as we know it. I've lost my house keys.
Shame.
It absolutely is a shame, Jodie Whittaker, 13th Doctor. Do you have any idea where they might be?
Maybe in this universe.
That really doesn't help me as much as you think it does. Capaldi Doctor, do you have any idea? Okay, never mind then. 8th Doctor Paul McGann, hang on, you've got a key in your hand. Is that mine?
That's the one.
Oh, thank you so much. I didn't
Probably not the one you're expecting.
Oh, come on!
You want to end every Big Finish episode with Capaldi going, no!
Troy, you're not helping. I need my key to get into my house so I can record my hotline for the week. Otherwise, I'm going to miss out. I had a really good idea and everything. It was going to be Ruby Sunday on a game show with Tharries and the Bradley Walsh clown from the Sarah Jane Adventures. But now I can't do it because I don't have my key.
And you get this, your very own key.
Shooty Gatwa, you're my favourite Doctor now.
Can we just have him call in every week and always feature his soundboard stuff? It's such a good detox. I love it. Round of applause in the live chat for Conor McRae.
Yeah, well done.
I never know what it is that he brings forward, but I always love it, and that's what matters. I also loved being a part of it. That was a culture shock. Cheers for that, mate. All right, who's next?
Okay, we've got Grace. Hello, Grace.
What have you got, Grace?
Hello, Grace. Where are you, Grace?
Hi, Troy and Crispy. I feel like having a really simple check-in today. So, how are you both? I'm personally just getting over having COVID, but, you know, we move. Well, hope you're well. Sorry, I just heard something crash upstairs. I'm gonna go figure out what that was. Be right back. Okay, microphone. Hi, Troy and Crispy. Please ignore whatever question I just asked and instead answer this one. What has been your favorite appearance of Susan Twist up to now? Definitely answer this one and not the other one. It's really important for reasons that have nothing to do with the butterfly fight that caused my granddaughter to not be born to stop alien invasion. Shoot, the paradox field. Thanks. Cool. It was just the silly old house settling. Nothing too serious. Anyway, bye now.
Is it normal for them to do like full episodes?
No.
Yeah, our audience are just making their own audio dramas at this point. Conor McRae has started something clearly. Well done. No, round of applause for Grace as well.
Yeah, thank you,
so
Grace.
the one question, favorite Susan Twist cameo, what would you guys go for?
This 73 yards, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got the most out of her.
Shout out to Church on Ruby Road where she's like, "Can you do Gal Dente?"
Yeah. Give me some Willy.
Give me some Willy. I like that one.
I love the video from Doctor Who where it was like top 5 Susan Twist moments, and it was only based on Wild Blue Yonder, so he just took tiny little bits of her, and then now like, oh, didn't realise she was going to be a big character. Which, by the way, very exciting news for annoying people like me. Doctor Who people have announced they're going to start doing Evil Dan memes again, because people keep asking them.
Wow.
So, cultural reset. And the tease was a what coming out of the piano in The Devil's Chord, and it was him going, ha 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 ha, oh.
That is quality.
Very
to be fair.
Quality. Cannot wait.
Right,
Shout out
here we
Doctor
go.
Who poop. Crispy, who's next?
Dr. Whovian, hello.
One of our new callers, Dr. Whovian. What have you got for us?
Dr. Whovian, where are you?
And hello to you too, Troy and Crispy, and welcome, Tharries. First of all, fully on board with this trickster theory. The Doctor mentioned the Pantheon, and the trickster is an embodiment of one or more members of the Pantheon of Discord. Not to be confused with the Discord server, which is sweet. Everyone should join that by becoming a patron. Secondly, I wanted to say, Tharries, now that you've got the Tharries ramp, which, as a person with a disability and a lifelong Doctor Who fan, is so cool, if you could have one more thing in Doctor Who inspired by you, what would it be? Thanks, guys.
Oh, wow.
That was a beautiful first-time
Thank you for
caller.
utilising the guests.
Also,
Tharries,
Patreon is the Discord is not Patreon exclusive. There is a channel that's exclusive to Patreon. Just want to clarify that. But that was lovely, Dr. Whovian. Tharries.
Ooh, a question for me.
Yeah, I think we must have mentioned you were in it, and I forgot. So sorry.
No,
This is great.
I was sat there like, because when the last one came in, it was like, how are you guys, Troy and Crispy? I was like, I'm sure they're doing great, guys. Anyway, what would I have if I could have one more thing? I mean, the ramp is already. I never expected that to even happen.
That's such a lovely story. Yeah, I adore that.
I think just to be like. I think it'd be really funny if a planet was called Tharries or something. Just because I've always felt it was a bit alien-y sounding. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cool.
But like, other than that, I mean that sounds so vain, doesn't it?
You could have an alien creature called the Tharry, and then when you say the Tharries are invading, that could be good too.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
There you go.
Oh my god, there's a fire alarm going off.
Oh gosh.
No.
Going on
Are
there.
you okay?
No, I think someone's burnt something. I've just had a text through. You carry on.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to catch Tharries, place
No,
burning
it's
down
good.
whilst
Okay, we're
on the
okay.
Crispy Pro
There we
live
go.
stream.
It's the Tharries. The Tharries are burning down his house.
Oh no.
Insert the title sequence, which we never even mentioned. No title sequence is 73 yards.
Yeah,
didn't like that.
I'm all for it.
Nope, didn't like
Makes
it.
Different.
Okay, we have
Why?
because I love that theme and that intro. Flex it on us. Sorry. Okay, we have one more, which is from the Beast Boss.
Hello, Beast Boss. Do you want to say your piece, Troy? First?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, hello, Beast Boss. How are you? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well. How's
Whenever
the
it
kids?
plays.
Wagwan, my drillers. Hold on to your mist fist, and there's always a twist. There's always a twist. Because it's Beast Boss time. Now, before I embarrass myself anymore, I'll get on with it. This month has been incredible for many reasons that may rhyme with Hilly Mill and Proctor Shoe. This month's question is, if in your whole life you could only meet one actor from Doctor Who in real life, who is it? I'd love to talk for about 29 more minutes, but despite that, I'll close off this call with a song about one of my bestest friends. Here goes nothing.
I've got a dog, he's called
Cooper.
My dog is
Pog.
he's
Super.
I love my dog, he loves me too. I haven't got a cat, only a dog. My dog, my dog, my dog, my dog. I've got a dog, I love my dog.
Bro is posing for the fans, just like how I'm posing as a slick exit segue.
I'm reporting you to the council!
Wow.
So,
Wow.
Beast Boss messaged me and he said, can you put an image on the podcast at a certain point in my call? And I went, tell me what the image is and what's going on. He went, dog. I went, fine. So, there you have it. For the audio listeners, a picture of the Beast Boss's dog was on the screen.
It's a very nice pose.
And it allows us to end with a very nice story to finish off, because if some of you know, I think he's mentioned it a few times, the Beast Boss's favourite, celebrity in the world is Tilly Steele, who was in The Witchfinders in Series 11 of Doctor Who. And he got to meet her at MCM Comic Con yesterday. So I thought, he said he wanted the photo shared, and I thought, you know what, he's a big supporter, so I'll just share the photo of the two of them together. I didn't have it ready, so I'm going to shrink it on, but there they are together.
Oh,
you can see
nice.
there, which is a lovely little photo.
Nice.
So I just thought I'd pop that.
Well played.
He then also met me, which was not quite as cool, but he said he wants to share that photo too, so who am I to stop him? So there's our photo together as well.
Oh, it's
which
the
is quite
boys.
nice.
It's
obviously,
the boys.
obviously meeting me was much cooler than Tilly Steele, I'm sure, but no, it was lovely to meet him. It's nice to meet more people from the podcast, and if you ever do see, if you're in Australia and you see Crispy at a con, or in the UK you see me, come and say hi. Come and say hi. It's always a pleasure.
Or Tharries.
Yeah, well, Tharries is not a regular here, and I'm sure he gets enough fame as it is. So, let's not feel his ego anymore. He's got a ramp. He's all right.
Oh my goodness.
But no, it was lovely. Yeah, it was a really nice thing to meet him, and I appreciate the call. Appreciate the calls from all of you. I think after an hour,
I gotta say, these are really like nice and creative.
Yeah, that's 3 of our 4 call-ins involving some kind of like music and/or planned thing.
Plot.
You're getting too creative. Please keep it up. I love it. Right, that's the longest episode we've done in a while. That's an hour and 15. I reckon we wrap up there, boys.
Tharries, plug your... Wait, no. Give me your final thoughts on the episode, Tharries, and then please plug away. People need to know where to find you.
On the episode. Not as good as Boom, but pretty good. I have some issues, but I enjoyed it. There you go. That's my nice, brief summary.
Well said.
And where can people find you, Tharries? What are you doing?
So you got the YouTube channel, which is just Tharries. Go subscribe if you'd like to. I'd
Don't.
appreciate that. Or don't, that's fine.
No,
you
do
know.
go subscribe. Do go.
What's with all the hostility today, Troy?
Tuberculosis, Tharries. You know exactly why there's hostility.
Listen. Look, I didn't say it today.
No, but you had a lasting effect to the point where I had to tell the podcast to stop doing it, so I'm getting vindication. Okay? I'm getting my revenge. We're on even ground after this.
Okay, tuberculosis.
Right, that's it now. Get off. Get him out of here. Get him out. Get him out. Don't go and subscribe to him. We're going to end this episode here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for hanging out. Crispy, are we sharing who's on next week, or are we keeping it hush-hush? I don't actually remember who's on next week, to be honest with you.
Oh, no. Next week, it's one of my mates, Sam. It's very exciting.
Okay.
He's part of the Who Busters, which was a thing I did back in 2020. I
remember the Who Busters.
Yeah, the Who Busters. Yeah. So he's on a channel called Each to Their Own, and they're very, very fun and very, very nerdy. So we're gonna have them on, and it's gonna be great.
Sounds good to me.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, cool.
I need to go home.
So we'll see you all. Well, for the audio and video listeners over on the Who's There channel, we'll see you all same time next week as we talk about Dot and Bubble. Very, very exciting times. Thank you, Crispy Pro, as well, just for the case of the live stream, for allowing us to invade and take over the Crispy Pro account.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
And if you are live on this channel and you haven't seen the podcast, Crispy, what should they go and do?
They should go and find Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Can we get that link in the chat?
You
right
bet
now?
your backside we can.
Because
It's
if
in
you
there.
thought this was crazy, it's like that every single week over there. It is absolutely mental. We get guests on. Tharries has been on 3 times. He's our
More's the
longest
pity.
recurring guest. And absolutely always a pleasure. So yeah, go
Absolutely.
and subscribe to Who's There. It's a lot of fun, and we want to do this full time.
Yeah.
But we can't.
So subscribe to
For
the
now.
Patreon, please. We need it. Thank you. No. Seriously, Tharries, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure. As
No
always.
problem.
Thanks, mate.
I always,
Love you
I always
lots,
love
mate.
doing the show.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
great
for
to
having
Appreciate
me.
you.
Yeah. Well, there you
See
go.
you, chat.
We will see you all next time with episode 112. I can't believe we're at these numbers. It's mad. Where we'll review Dot and Bubble. Until then, it's goodbye from our special guest, Tharries.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Mr. Pro of Crispy.
Alon Z.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye. See you all next week with Dot and Bubble. Alon Z, baby.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Okay, so that's the recording done.
I'm
So I'll
stopping
stop that there.
recording.
Yep, stop it on Riverside. Crispy.
Wow, we're still live, aren't we?
We are still live. We are still live.
All right, let's wrap it up. These guys have had enough. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
For a second, I thought we weren't still live. So
I know. I think we should warn our
Yeah,
guests.
wait to start swearing at me for another 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah,
I know you
let's
want
just-
to, but let's just be
wait
patient.
a second
patient.
before. Yeah, Tharries and Troy start
Nope.
swearing. At
Recordings
each
are
other.
all
I love
uploaded.
you, Troy.
No, I love you, really, mate.
There's
It's
no
a pleasure.
hostility
It's a
on my
pleasure.
end.
No, you guys love each other.
Yeah,
Even if
I
you
know.
hate me for
There's a lot of love in the room. It was just a joke that stuck, mate.
Yeah, I
It was
can't
just
believe
a
it
joke
stuck.
that
I had
stuck.
no idea it would stick. I thought
Words
it
have
would be a
power.
one-off.
Words
They
have
do.
power. They hold way
Hang
too
on
much.
a minute. Just,
Are we wrapping up the stream?
that was the wrong
Oh,
one
that-
because I swapped the cameras. I was trying to turn off Tharries' camera and be all funny, but because of the
Oh.
way things swapped round, I turned off that one. It turned off you, Crispy. It didn't work. But yeah, and also Crispy again. Thank you for having us on your channel. Greatly appreciated.
Oh, no,
it was
no
it was
worries.
your idea and it was a great one. I personally think.
Yeah, I'm keen to see the stats, but we'll
But
see.
shall you just clarify for your audience that it will be just you going forward again now? This is a one-off.
Yes. It's just me next week.
Yeah, we
gonna
will
be
be
fun.
live for episode 8, but it will be on our YouTube
It'll be
channel
on-
when
it'll be on
when the
Who's There.
finale drops, so that you'll be a live stream
For
Crispy and one
sure.
from us. So keep that in mind.
Yep.
But yeah, there we
All
go.
right. Let's
Shall
wrap it
I
up.
end the stream?
Yeah.
I'll put
Do
it
the
on the
outro.
intro screen, and then I'll quickly mute the video, and then we'll just let it die. So everyone, just be quiet for a moment. Nothing offensive until afterwards, okay? All right. I know you want to say bad things to me, but let's just wait. Thank you all for having us. Much appreciated, and we'll see you all later. Bye bye.